Which actor most squandered an otherwise promising career? TJ Miller fricked up real bad right when Silicon Valley was reaching its peak popularity. Didn't they just write Ehrlich off with Gavin leaving him in an opium den in China? What a way to go. Jussie Smollett has to be in the running on this one. One crazy act and he'll never work in the industry again. In addition to the legal issues it has brought him, he was working since 1990 and has been in some pretty big productions. He was hot stuff for a while. All those years of building his career, all that work and that promising future just wiped away in an evening of pure and utter insanity. WTF was he thinking? Completely squandered everything he had worked for, in addition to making life that bit harder for real victims of hate crimes. I hope he's not beating himself up about this. Armie Hammer. This name still throws me off. It's like if there was someone named Dunky Donut. Terrence Howard not continuing his role as James Rhodes' War Machine in Iron Man. To be fair, Marvel was lowballing him on money for Iron Man 2, but it would have probably paid off if he continued in subsequent Iron Man Avengers films. He still seems pretty bitter about the whole thing. He also thinks 1x1 equals 2 through some super secret ass backwards system he's discovered. It's called Terrorology. I wish this were a joke. Misha Barton quit the OC because she didn't want to become typecast. Now she can't get cast for any type. Harrison Ford could have gone on to be a really good Finnish carpenter, even a cabinet maker. He could have been the next Norma Bram. Rick Moranis would likely be one of the most celebrated comic actors of all time by now. But he gave it all up in the 1990s to raise his kids after his wife passed away. Much respect. I wouldn't call that squandered though, but was a shame. Charlie Sheen could have been one of the greats. Went from Platoon in 1986 to Wall Street in 1987 and then shooting his fiancée and future wife of John Travolta, Kelly Preston in The Arm accidentally by 1990, and then a series of ups and downs before we all saw the unraveling into Tiger Blood and winning 2 decades later. Excuse me, I can't believe nobody has mentioned Mickey Rourke. He was the leading man in a number of successful movies in the 80s, then left Hollywood to become a boxer. His boxing career did so much damage to his face that he required reconstructive surgery. He did return to acting, but his career never returned to anything close to the meteoric rise it had before. The wrestler was freaking amazing. Matthew Fox pretty much did nothing after Lost. Dom Monaghan basically said in an interview, just because you're on a show together doesn't mean you're friends about him. Might be a duck. Thora Birch, though I suppose she didn't squander it so much as her parents sabotaged it. I believe she's cast in Tim Burton's upcoming Wednesday Addams Family adaptation. Lindsay Lohan, the heights her career could have seen if she'd just gotten her shoot together. Her life just makes me sad. Her parents fricked her up from an early age. Edward Furlong, Terminator 2, American History X. The man was in so many great things and on his way to become a legend. Then it all went downhill. Such a shame. Well, a quick look at his wiki states that at 15 his 28-year-old tutor began raping and abusing him over the subsequent years that followed, so I am certain that probably played into the resulting issues he faced. The one guy who was on Matrix? Forgot his name, but he tried defaming all the actors involved when he was told he will not be coming into the sequels. He is reduced to obscurity now. You talking about the actor who played Tank? Cause he just magically disappears between movies with one throwaway line about him dying. Lindsay Lohan. She could have reached Emma Stone status. My personal theory is that Emma Stone's career took off when it did because Hollywood needed to replace Lohan when she fell off. And it worked. Stone is kind of the same vibe as Lilo, but is also a really good actress in her own right. Surely this needs to include Danny Masterson or whatever that guy's name was from that 70s show. Combine him with the girl from Smallville and you have some serious messed up stuff. Allison Mack, Denise Crosby playing Lieutenant, Tasha Yar on Star Trek, TNG, and Jumping Ship, pun intended, just before it got really big. Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing getting a nose job. Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing getting a nose job. I feel like the same thing happened to Ashley Tisdale. It really changed her face from easily recognizable to just another face in the crowd. Pretty sure Gina Carano squandered her career. She made a few movies but was really breaking out in The Mandalorian as Cara Dune. It looked like she was gonna be the main character in a spin-off Disney Plus series until she started spouting off stuff on Twitter that basically, if I heard correctly, got her fired off Mandalorian and cancelled her new show before it started. She may be able to recover, but time will tell. Trump aside, Katherine Heigl, Robert Downey Jr. before Iron Man. People forget how much of a bounce back that was for him. Definitely the greatest Hollywood comeback ever. Jan Michael Vincent.